the one, the only, Ben Sion.
Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Iyun and Sion. Today we're doing Shekalim, Para Gimel, Mishnayos Beis and Gimel. I want to talk today about Mishnah Beis. Mishnah Beis says that the person who went in to be Torah from the Trumas Halishka to take the coins out for the Korbanot Tzibor, he couldn't wear cuffs, he couldn't wear shoes, because people might think that he's gonna steal the money and put it in his cuffs or his shoes or even tefillin. He might unsew the tefillin and put it in the tefillin to steal money. And then maybe he'll become poor or rich. People will say, oh, he must have stolen money and that's why he became poor, or become rich. He became rich because he got the bracha of taking money from Trumas Halishka, and it wasn't worth that money. He probably couldn't steal that much money. And the reason that he's not allowed to do this, we have to be worried about this, we can't trust him, is because the Mishnah says, a person has to be careful that the public should think, the people should think highly of him, just like Hashem thinks highly of him. It quotes a passage from a midbar. And also from a Mishlei, that you have to not just worry about Hashem thinks about you, or other people think about you. Now, I'm not going to discuss what people think about you, what people think about you, your frumkeit, or whether you're a decent person or not, or what hashkafa you align with. That I'm not getting into, because you shouldn't really care what other people think about you. But what we're talking about here is doing averos and mitzvos over here. It's an aver to take money from the Trumas Halishka. It's stealing, it's me'ilah. So you have to be careful to avoid people thinking that you sinned. Now there's two concepts in Chazal. There's maras ayin and chashad. Maras ayin is quoted oftentimes in the Gemara, that a person has to be careful that people don't think he does an avera. And chashad, what's the difference between chashad and maras ayin? So I think I heard from Hershel Schachter at one time that this is the source of chashad. Apparently, maras ayin was from. This is the sort of chashad. Maybe one pasuk was from maras ayin, one pasuk was for chashad. I think that's what he said. The nikisim nikiyim. Reason the kiyam b'nei Hashem is maybe not to do averos, and matzah seichel tov b'nei Elokim v'adam is talking about maras ayin. It's talking about some chashad. I forget which one, but I'll say it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think based on what he was saying, I think that there's two things talked about in Chazal, maras ayin and chashad. Here the question is whether he's going to do avera or not. So I think both psukim are talking about it. Mishlei is not a source; it's just a proof. Mishlei you can't derive a halacha from. It's just a proof to what it says in the Torah, in Sefer Dvar, in Sefer B'midbar. Yisem nekiyam b'nei Hashem b'nei Elokim v'adam. That maras ayin is people shouldn't think you did an avera. And that's all the Gemara always talks about. Maras ayin, people shouldn't, even chedrei chadarim nami yasser, even in private it's also to do it, because someone might go inside and might think you did an avera. We have to be very careful about averas. Chashad is something else. The Gemara Masechah Shabbos talking in Eros Chanukah, if you have a house with a door, a corner house, and you have a door on both sides of your house, you have to light candles in both locations. People might think there's two different houses and think that you didn't light in Eros Chanukah. So therefore we're worried about people not thinking you're doing a mitzvah. Here the question is, did he do an avera over here? There's no mitzvah that he didn't do over here. He's doing the mitzvah. The question is whether he stole from the Trumas Halishka for himself. So therefore, this is the source, I believe, for maras ayin, which believes you have to be very careful. People shouldn't think you did something negative, which is even more severe, because you have to, even in chedrei chadarim, even in a very private place, you have to worry about maras ayin, where no one sees you, because someone might come in and see you. However, when it comes to chashad, that's really a different source. What the source for that is, I don't know. It could be it's derabanan chashad, that people should not think you didn't do a mitzvah, right? It's a worse avera. It's worse to do an avera than to not do a mitzvah, because one's kum ve'eseh and one's shei ve'al tasa. Kum ve'eseh is worse. You're directly rebelling against God when you do something you said not to do. If you don't do something, you're lazy. You're lazy. It's not necessarily a rebellion against God. So therefore, that is less severe. It could be that's only derabanan, and that's by doing mitzvahs. If you're not doing a mitzvah, people think you didn't do a mitzvah. That's chashad, like the Gemara says in Shabbos. Here we're talking about maras ayin, which is derived from the Torah. This pasuk, Yisem Nekiyim. People shouldn't think that he stole from the Trumas Halishka. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you on the next one.